Welcome back, friends, to my Cybertruck journey. Today we have a special treat for you. We're going to deal with one of the issues that has been bugging me ever since I took delivery of my Cybertruck, and that is my rear view visibility. As many of you probably know from watching other YouTube videos or taking your own test drive in the Cybertruck, you know that the rear view mirror that Tesla installs in the Cybertruck is pretty much useless. And worse than that, it's just a plastic, light-duty rear view mirror of serving no purpose. So today, we're going to deal with that by installing the Hansshow Live View rear view mirror. So stick around and let's go through the installation process of getting that mirror installed in your Cybertruck. Okay, friends, the first step in getting the mirror installed in the Cybertruck is to take out the existing Tesla provided mirror. So let's go inside and take a look at it and take it apart. But we're going to need a couple of tools to do that. We're going to need a number 20 Torx screwdriver. That's the little star type head, and a flathead screwdriver. So let's go inside and get that started. The first thing we're going to have to do is pop off this little cap right here on the bottom of the mirror. We just have to take our flathead screwdriver and as you can see, I got it popped up with a screwdriver, and now we just need to push it back just like that, and then it comes straight off. See, number 20 Torx head screw should be right up in this hole. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a illuminated angle here. It's a little hard to video in the sun, but that's where we're going to find the screw. We've got the Torx screwdriver inserted into the head of the screw, and now we're going to unloosen it to remove the mirror. There we have it. The next step is we got to open up our sun visors so we can pop this piece down right here. Unfortunately, I did not have the hand strength to pop this down, so I went in and got a couple of these nylon panel removers to help me pop this down. And it pops down really easy. Just got to have the right tool sometimes. Next step is to pop this front cover down. Just want to get under the front edge of this. It's supposed to pop down, and there we go. So now we got this down. Before we can mount the camera, we got a little bit of pre-work to do. One of the first things we have to do is remove this screw from the base. Now that's not a number 10, that's actually a hex head. Just wanted to show you that. But it's finger tight, so you don't really need a hex screw, but you might want to use a hex screw when you go to tighten it back up. And you're going to want to mount this little piece, this little mounting piece that comes with the camera, and you're going to mount that right here, just like that. And we're going to put this screw back in like that. Okay, once we got our little hex screw snugged up like we want it, then we got to reroute our cables through this little hole in the bracket so that they're in front of the mounting bracket. So we're going to do that one at a time. Just run them through, and, bending them so that they don't kink. There we go. There's number 1. We'll do the other 2. Now that we have our cables properly run through the little slot in the bracket, we can go back out to install the mirror in the Cybertruck. In the packet, it came with a screw, and this little screw is a T20, so that we can go back in and install this screw in the one that where the mirror, the Tesla mirror screw came out of. In the packet, it also came with this Y splitter. This Y splitter, we opened up one of the power connections inside the mirror housing, and we plug one end into the big end, which is the small end like this, and then we take the small end and plug it into the big end inside the Tesla Cybertruck. We'll show you some video of that when we get outside and start hooking that up. There are two cameras that came with the Hansshow rear view mirror, live view mirror. One of them is fairly light. It's a plastic housing. It's got a little bit of an offset articulation for the camera. And I believe with this angle that it has, that this would be the camera that we would mount on the windshield, and as it slopes down, and then we'd be able to articulate the camera in the direction that we want so it's facing forward. The other camera is noticeably heavier, and it seems to have a metal housing. It also came with a couple of little screws, so you could actually take this housing bracket off and screw this housing bracket into a material that would hold some screws, as well as using the double stick tape. But this is certainly looks more ruggedized than this camera. So I believe this camera will be the one that we're going to put in on the windshield, and this will be the camera that will mount outside the car. Now, both of these cameras will connect to the cables that came with the rear view mirror, but then they send you this other cable, and it appears to be probably 20 or 30 feet long, which we can use to place the rear view camera in multiple locations. So one of the things that I want to do is try out a couple of different locations to see what location I like best before permanently mounting it. So the kit comes with a lot of things that you need, and everything you need to get it plugged into and hooked up into your car. But let's go back outside and let's get that mirror mounted and see if we can't get that mirror working and get at least one of the cameras hooked up before dark tonight. The white power connector on the far right is the one that we're going to want to connect our pigtail to, the one right in here. As you can see from this pigtail, these two, the small one and the big one, will actually go together. So what we're going to do is take the small one, white one out up there, put it into the big black one here, and put the small black one into the white one up in the mirror. There's a very tiny tab at the base of the small end of the plug, or what you'd call the male end, and we're going to have to use a screwdriver, so I'm going to need both hands to take this apart. Went inside and got a little small pair of needle nose pliers. Let's see if that could help me to get this thing disconnected. Thing is snapped in there tight. Well, that obviously is not the trick. Alrighty, folks, there's a little tab right here in front of this plug, and you have to stick a little small screwdriver in there, and once you do that, you can lift it up and it'll free it up from that tab, making it a lot easier to plug in the connection. And now we're just going to replace these using the provided parts here. You can see it snaps in there, and this one should snap in here. There we go. Alrighty, now we just need to run the wires back towards the front, because we don't want to leave them in here by this sensor. And then we'll bring our wires up from the mirror through this hole, and we'll start trying to put all this back up in the air. Okay. Right side over there. Need extra hands to do all this. Okay, folks, I need a little extra hands. I'm trying to do this by myself. Someone got a box, set it on top of the monitor there. And I've got the wires run from the camera through the hole this way, and the wire from the pigtail coming this way to go down to the camera. So now I'm going to try to get all this lined up and get this plate back up in the air and attached to the Cybertruck and closed up. Okay, we've got the mirror sitting on this box holding it up, so it's taking the tension off these wires. We also have our camera wire plugged in to the pigtail, and that's brought forward to go inside of this piece right here, where we can take up the slack. And now I just need to get these plastic clips, there's 2 on each side, back connected, and get this pushed up so we can start to try to mount the mirror. Hopefully I'll get this done before dark. Definitely would be nice if you had an extra pair of hands. As you can see, we have power to our mirror. Now I just got to get the bracket mounted. There's a little slot in the top there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's where the little door goes. See a little slot there? All right, now is the tricky part. This is where you could use about 4 hands instead of 2. Well, friends, at this point, you probably can guess that I didn't get the mirror installed today. Shortly after that last clip that I covered, I was trying to insert the screw into the little hole between the wires and up into the ceiling. And of course, with nothing actually fitting like it should, I dropped the screw a couple of times, pick it up, tried it again, dropped it again, tried to put it back again. Of course, there's no video because it's using both hands. And then finally I dropped it. It fell against my leg and then fell down between the seats of the Cybertruck. So I tried with the magnet to retrieve the screw, but only bumped it further under the seat rail. And then tried with a wire and a flashlight, because now it's totally dark outside, and dropped the screw down somewhere underneath the rail. So I decided it's time to come inside, get some rest, sleep on it, go out in the morning, pull the seat out and see if you can find the screw, because I don't have any replacement screws to use. I did make a trip over to Home Depot before they closed tonight and found some M4 20mm screws. I could try that if I'm not able to find the screw that fell down under the seat rail, but we're going to start over in the morning. So see you back in the morning. I had to remove the seat to get to the screw. Alrighty, I'm taking this little round file and making just a little bit of notch for my camera cable to get inside and allow this to lay flat. I think this approach, bringing the front cable down the side over here, there's a little metal chase that I can hook that to, keep it out from in front of that sensor, and I think that might work. Well, folks, I got tired of trying to handle the mirror and keep it from falling while I was trying to do cable management, so I needed an extra pair of hands. So I need a couple of pair of hands, add a couple of zip ties. Let's see if this works. Alrighty, folks, many hours and a day later, I finally was able to get the screw started on the mirror, which I actually started yesterday. This is definitely a trying task for someone that is single-handed, one person. However, a couple of tips here. One, if you notice, originally I was pushing all that slack out of those cables up into the hole, making it even tighter to be able to work the screwdriver up between the cables. So today I actually pulled some of the cable back so that I could actually bring the screwdriver up through the cables easier, and was able to get this thing aligned. So certainly 2 people would make a big difference, but you can do it with one person. Little ingenuity But I'm really close now. I got all the cables run, got the front camera run, and there's the back camera there. I'll start putting it in place when I get this other headpiece up. So I'm gonna tighten this up and we'll be done with the mirror mounting. Well, folks, contrary to the Hansshow video that says there's enough room to coil your cables up on this side of the panel, is inaccurate. If you notice, we have these little standoffs here which take up all the lateral room, so you can't run them along the side. Then when you look, we say, oh, well, there's some space on either side of these clips, until you look and you see over here there is a frame that takes up the space on either side of the clips. So there's no place for the wire, at least not for wire with big connectors like this. So I saw this on Chuck's video, and he said he had to put the wires up back here. So guess what? I'm taking this back down and I'm going to be putting the wires back over here. The key to this is going to be taking the front camera loop and the power loop, these two loops, and somehow or another saving them in here. Now I believe this is a cellular antenna, and we have to be real careful not to get some wires in too close to that antenna, or we're going to change the impedance of that antenna and drastically lower the effectiveness of it. So then your data won't work. All right, let me go take this top down and see if I can find a way to bundle these wires and loop them where they're not going to interfere with anything, and be behind this camera, and see if we can find some room there. All right, this is try number 4. I don't know, just many attempts. But through the magic of Gorilla Tape and zip ties, I've been able to route the wires around this reflector, which points up at what I'm looking at and guessing to be an antenna. So try not to cause too much of an impedance mismatch, because that is actually a loop antenna. So the wire from the front camera will come around. It goes in that little notch right in here. Got a little Gorilla Tape on it to keep it in that notch, and then it'll go around the front. Then it comes back around and ties into this connector. So this whole camera makes a loop. All right, let's see if I can get this back up. Can't film while I'm trying to use my hands, so all I got to do is rotate that lid and tie it back up. The other thing I wanted to show you is I'm holding the rear view mirror up with a piece of Romex wire, solid copper wire, to keep it from dangling. So there's my extra pair of hands. All right, got the front piece back on. Now all we have is one wire to bring down along the side of here, which I think we can make that one wire work. And this is just holding this up till I get the screw in and hold the mirror. So let's see if I can get the mirror put back on again. Okay, we're back to where we were. Got just a little bit of extra cable out here behind the mirror, but that's not going to be too visible, so I'm not too worried about that. So, and then I only have one cable up here to snake in alongside of here. So let me see if I can get this second piece in and close this puppy up and start doing some testing. Couldn't find a way to flip the video or rotate the video vertical to up and down. And when I wanted to lay it like this with the bracket, the video was upside down. And you'll notice there's this little tab right here. And I was able to remove that little tab, or not really remove it, but squeeze it down. So now I'm going to put the screws back in it. Now I can mount this on top of the joint piece between the tonneau cover and the back, because I kind of like that angle. But I want to try it out and see how it's going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on, put the camera on, and just run the wires down the back of the vehicle and show you what it looks like from various different angles. Unfortunately, that didn't work. You can't flip this bracket over to the other side because there's not enough room for the tabs to fit. You can't flip the bracket over, so bending that little tab down did not help at all. So I may go bend it back up, hopefully try not to break it off. Plan B. Alrighty, friends. It took a couple of days and quite a few hours and a whole lot of side trips back and forth inside the house to try to figure out some things, including reading the service manual on how to remove the front left seat to recover the screw. However, at the end of this journey, I do have it installed and it is working. I have the rear view camera. I do not have it mounted. I just have the wire running down along there and then out the back window. I'll give you a little quick view of what we got going on out here. I just have some Gorilla tape and the camera taped up here. I want to check out this location. I think that's going to be a better location for me than putting the camera down here on the bumper. So I'm going to try that out, see how that looks. I noticed that Chuck Cook did the same thing. He decided to go that way, and I think that makes sense. So looking at the camera, it's touch sensitive, so you can scroll up or down, or you can look down into the tonneau cover. And if we want to open the tonneau cover, you can watch it open. And you can see stuff that's in the trunk. I may move the camera a little further back to give you a little better view of being in the trunk. I'm gonna go ahead and open the tailgate. And you can see the tailgate opens just fine. Alrighty, so that's the rear camera. And there's the front camera. Again, just like the back camera, you can slide it up or down. And I may want to angle it a little further up because it just has much more fro here, and there's no reason to look at the dash. There's not much there for us to see. So I may want to adjust that angle a little bit on that camera to get it pointing up. So overall, the visibility in the mirror is amazing. I really think the visibility is just absolutely spectacular. I think nice clear view. It's a little bit challenging to get it in place. I really think that Tesla should make this a standard feature. And on all Cybertrucks, this is just way much more visibility to the back and more normal for you know, older drivers who may not have as much of a acuity at looking at the screen down below. So hope you enjoyed today's video. I will close out this video and get this posted so you can see the trials and tribulations of getting this far. And I'll do another video that takes us on maybe how I route the cable and wire to the back of the car. I've been doing some research to find out about the best path, what parts of the headliner I might want to remove or take down to make that work. And also, anybody out there that's watching this that's got a pattern for doing a 3D cover for the rear camera, drop me a line in the chat. I'd love to, if you're printing one, I'd love to have you print me one as well so I can put one on my Cybertruck. I'm sure that'll be a hot item for other folks that are buying this product. Quality of the product is good. The cameras are good, are excellent. I think the view is good. I think the biggest downside of this is the installation. It is a very challenging installation. They're going to need to look more carefully at how they've described their cable management, because the cable management that they originally proposed would not work in this variant of the Cybertruck. And I worry about interference here in this antenna area where the antenna for our cellular data services is coming from. Okay, I just moved the camera here to the tailgate. And let's go take a look and see what the view looks. As you can see, the view is quite beautiful also from this look. You don't get to look in at the trunk, but this is sitting on just above the trailer hitch, which I was thinking would be a good spot for mounting the camera. And yeah, looks like it's got a really good view from here. So a couple of things: if anybody knows how to flip the view from top to bottom, let me know. I'm sure they've probably thought of a way to do that. And this is actually looks like a really nice product. Have a little bit of extra wire behind the mirror, but that made it a little bit easier to get it installed. Everything went back up nice and tight, and looking good. Well, I hope you enjoyed our video today, and I hope you come back to take a look and see when the final product is done. Overall, my overall impressions is I love the product. I think Tesla ought to make this a standard feature on the Cybertruck. And I'll put another video out there when we get this thing permanently mounted. So till we see you again, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.